Hey, Christina.
Howdy. Sorry, couldn't find the mute.
That's okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. You?
Um, got a headache.
Oh boy. Just when you were feeling better now, it's back to.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the smoke that, since it's been so bad.
Yes, the air quality will contribute for sure.
Hello, everyone. It's
So
Sherry.
many emails.
Hey, Sherry. Or Chief.
What happened, Christina?
No, I said hi. Hi, Sherry.
I said hello.
Oh, hey, Sherry. How are you?
I'm
Bad
good.
headache. Okay.
Oh,
Christina, I gotta go to board docs for some reason. I can't find the agenda in my email.
Okay. Hold on. Let me- which one of your 5 emails are you
I
checking?
know. I have a lot of emails. I'm trying to find it. I can always go to board docs.
Yeah, or I'll send it again. Hold on, since we have a minute or so.
Did you hear back from any of the other board members if they're attending or not attending? Because I want to start this one on time, as you know. Unfortunately, I double booked myself.
I
Okay, Kristen, I got the agenda. I went to
I got
board
it.
docs.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
don't worry. Thank you.
Talked to AJ this morning at leadership. He said he was coming, or he didn't indicate he wouldn't. And I will
Okay.
check the rest now.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hello, folks over there in Philly. How's the city of love?
Philly.
The theme of the conference is actually spreading love. So
Ah,
we're doing the very best we can to do so from the Connecticut's.
how apropos. So yes, I'm sure they'll. Jared, they are all at the. What's the name of the conference?
This is the Community Schools X Family Engagement. Because we get married with community schools, right? Community schools family engagement. And the theme this year is spreading love through the Institute of Educational Leadership. So
hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I see Tyrone's here. That's great. And I see Nishette and Sherry.
Yeah.
Any word
Okay, I
from
can't hear anybody.
Not yet, but I have sent them a message.
Sounds good. So out of respect, I'm gonna go ahead and get started and they can jump on board. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jahira Scribano. I'm the chair of the Family and Community Engagement Committee. Welcome. It's great to see some faces. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in quite some time. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. Unfortunately, I double booked myself today, of course. Apologies. So that means we're gonna try to end at 5:10 the latest. My sincere apologies. Again, I double booked myself, so my goal is to get us wrapped up by 5 o'clock, 5:10 the latest. So with that being said, welcome again, everyone. We are going to skip our check-in like I regularly do because of timing issues. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a pretty not so packed agenda, which is rare for us. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing on the agenda is approval of construction items, and I'm gonna pass that along to Chief Davis Gooch. Chief Davis Gooch.
Good evening, everyone. Are you able to see my screen? My presentation, great. So I'll go ahead and get started. I don't know, Christina. Okay, I got it.
Or I apologize, Chief Davis Gooch. For my fellow colleagues, let's hold off for questions until the end of her presentation. Thank you. Go right ahead, Chief Davis Gooch.
Thank you. So we're here today seeking approval for your review and accepting of approvals for the educational specifications for San Sanchez and Montessori Magnet at Batchelder Elementary Schools, and to authorize us to submit the grant application to the State of Connecticut's Office of School Construction Grants and review for purposes of securing a construction grant. Obviously, these school construction projects fall under our welcoming culture and nurturing climate. We want our students and school staff to enter to a building that serves our students' needs and as well as support the engagement of their learning. Going to switch my screen for 1 second to just give the overview of where we are with our construction projects. So I think I'm going to say many years back, probably starting in 2014, the district did a facility needs assessment and identified schools requiring renovation. So it started back in June 2014 with Weaver and Kinsella, moved to Martin Luther King and Breakthrough, Burns and Hartford Pre-K. As you know, we're in the midst of Buckley and Central Office. We are currently in construction for, oh my gosh, my screen keeps, 1 second, please, I'm sorry. We are currently in the design phase for Betances Learning Lab, Kennelly and Wish. Waiting for approval by the state legislation that should happen certainly soon is Moylan, McDonough, and Parkville. And then we are now moving forward with San Sanchez, Montessori, and Batchelder. So this is just where we are just seeking the approval to move forward with submitting a construction grant application. When I refer to the ed specs, I'm referring to the document that supports the grant application. Each one of our schools submit the ed specs that talks about the programming of each school. Each ed spec, this is the table of contents. I don't think I need to read it all, but why are we going for our construction grant? We describe the facility, the long-term plans, the space programming, our systems that need to come up to code, what is needed in the interior of the building, what the site would look like, and the overall program, the program spaces, and then community uses. So those ed specs were shared with you. And so again, this is just a full document, but again, we are just requesting that the ed specs are accepted and the superintendent is authorized to move forward in collaboration with the city of Hartford to submit a construction grant to the Office of School Construction and Grants Review. I know I move quickly, so certainly open to questions.
Chief Davis Gooch. I'm gonna look at my fellow colleagues to see if there are any questions. Mr. Walker?
No, no particular questions. Chief Davis Gooch, I may follow up with you just for some more education, but just for what you're seeking now, no.
Okay,
This
so
is-
thank you for that. Again, this is just the first phase of where we start with pursuing a school construction grant for the next set of schools. I think this is probably group 4 of the rollout of school construction planning.
Thank you for sharing that. I think because it started prior to my time on the board, it may be helpful for me sometimes just to get the vision of the overall plan and strategy, but that's just, again, for my education beyond and outside this meeting.
Yep, Christina and I have talked about like just doing a deep dive in the full cycle of a school construction grant. Maybe that could be done in a ad hoc facilities meeting where we just take you through the full cycle.
Yeah, that
I
would actually be
recommend
helpful.
a workshop for that. I agree with
Mhm.
Mr. Walker in terms of the educational aspect and just a refresher for all of us. So Christina, another workshop for you to add to your list. Chief Davis Gooch, thank you for that quick overview. It was, again, this is just the first step. I do not have any questions either, and I'm looking through my screen to make sure I didn't miss any of my colleagues. I do not see anyone else, but again, this is the first step, and I encourage any of my fellow colleagues who are watching this video after the fact to please reach out to Christina or myself, and we will send the questions to Chief Davis Gooch if there are any. So thank you, Chief Davis Gooch. Is that all you have for us today?
It is. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And let's move on to the next topic of the agenda. So that's, excuse me, the end of year review. And I'm gonna go ahead and pass it along to Chief Blackburn.
All right. I was trying to unmute. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Chief Davis Gooch, Mr. Walker, Ms. Escribano, and to my team, Ms. Judith, and we do have my team members that are zooming in via satellite. No, they're just in a different place. But I appreciate their dedication for just wanting to sign on and be a part of the committee meeting. Christina, are you sharing or okay, perfect.
Just let me know when to advance.
Okay, so we want to take some time, and you can move to the next slide, to just share with the board committee as well as the viewing audience, just a recap of the year. And so our objective is just to do that, to give end of year updates. We've had a lot of conversation through the committee about just kind of dialing back and looking at what we've been able to accomplish throughout the year, and also just highlighting the initiative that we carry from the start of the school year through the end. So we're going to begin with the Welcome Center year-end review. And I'm going to tag in Ms. Fagan. And Ms. Fagan, the information is here, and I do know that the deck will be available as a part of board docs, but just wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of walk through the next couple of slides as it relates to the Welcome Center for the board committee. You're on mute, Ms. Judith.
Okay, so we're in the month of May, and we really don't have our final totals till the end of June. But so far, we can see where the school year starting in July took us. we also, I don't know if on this slide deck we have a comparison. We had the comparison report.
That's the next slide, Miss Judith.
Okay. All right. So we can see how we did this year in comparison to last year. But our numbers, in terms of our total numbers so far, they're already higher than last year's numbers. We saw an increase in our homeless families. We saw increased participation of parents coming to the Welcome Center as we came out of the pandemic. We saw an increase in parents participating in some of our workshops that we offer. And so overall, we're getting back to where we were prior to the pandemic, and we're in a new space now downtown. Parents are, it's been a smooth, and kudos to Miss Sherry Davis Googe. I think she did such a great job in the work of transitioning us over to 280 Trumbull. Parents, we have not had any complaints from parents. They're coming in and finding their way, and it's been a smooth transition. I don't know if there are any specific questions that you may have.
And so, Ms. Judith, just following Ms. Escribano's directive as far as holding questions until the end.
Okay. All right.
Just want to highlight, if we can move back to the,
Yes.
not this slide. There we go. And again, just for our viewing audience, as well as for our board members here, I really think just having common language is super important. So we did list the definitions of what we mean by an intake, a complaint, a concern, a request, and the difference between a concern and a complaint. And as Ms. Fagan shared, that we like to see the level of engagement be higher in the Welcome Center. That might sound strange to folks, right? What we are saying is we want families to come to us. So we don't want our numbers to be low. We actually prefer them to be higher, because then we are having an opportunity to engage and connect and build that deep connection with our families through the work that happens in the Welcome Center, not just a complaint or concern, but the intakes or the requests are for varying needs, as we have shared in the past. So I just wanted to kind of double click on that piece so everyone is aware that we want to see our numbers go back to pre-pandemic, where our families are able to come to the Welcome Center and have their needs met. Thank you, Christina. All right, and it looks like Viviana's on the move, so let me know when I can tag you in, Viviana, but for right now, I will begin. So the next piece that we wanted to just highlight and bring back to the forefront is the work of our school governance councils, as well as school and family events. So this is a lovely picture that was just taken. Hey, Mr. Walker, who's that right there, everyone? That's Mr. Walker. That was taken at our SGC showcase that just took place on May 30th. And we see here, a few family members, as well as Mr. Walker and Pastor AJ, the superintendent, and myself. So we wanted to throw that in there. That was from the SGC show. Ms. Alvarado, are you ready to go? Perfect.
I am. Good afternoon, everybody. And I do want to say thank you, Chief Blackburn, Judith, and to my entire team. Unfortunately, I was not able to join the showcase, but I watched it online and I could not stop smiling. It was great. I do have to say, Chief, that your piece of jewelry that you made with the pipe cleaner made my entire life. So thank you for bringing that nugget of happiness. I appreciate you for that. And thank you, Charisse. So for this year, we are ending the year, I want to say, very strong. Last year, we did have a school that had no SGC. So this year we have nobody in the red zone, which is fabulous. And our goal is always having more parental involvement, right? And we're also ending on that high note, right, where we have 253 parents involved in our SGCs. And I want to also mention here real quick, that even though these are parents that are on our SGCs and our rosters, this does not mean that this is the only amount of parents that we have involved. We have so many parents that just simply cannot commit to being part of an SGC, but because the meetings are public, they do join, they do read the minutes. So I do want to thank also those parents that might be watching us today, right? That are our interviewing audience. Thank you all for all that you do. Ms. Cherise, and then I think our next slide is our engagement events, right? Yes, I love this slide. Thank you, Cherise. So this year we've had a total of 42 events, which is, I think, a couple more than we had from last year, and we were able to move to in-person events. We did have, obviously, right, some online ones where we found that it would be easier for families to join, right? Like during the winter, for example, that might be a time that our families might do better with an online option, right? We did have some events that were also hybrid, but we were able to move that to in-person events, and it was amazing seeing the families. I believe that some of you experienced at the showcase that some of the kids didn't even want to go. They wanted to stay over there. So that's what we want, and that's what we got. We had McKinney events, so we had family learning sessions. We've taken families on field trips. We're hoping to do one again soon. Right now, we have 3 parents that are in breakout sessions at a conference, right? Faces leaders. So we've had a great year. It's been a lot of insight, a lot of feedback, a lot of conversations. We don't shy away from those. So I do have to say that I'm very, very proud of the work that we've done and the work that we will continue to do. And I think
Thank
that's
you.
it for me, right?
Yes.
Oh,
thank
no,
you, Ms. Al-
I lied.
Well, so thank you, Ms. Alvarado. And before we come to the faces piece, just again, I did share this at our SGC showcase, and for our viewing audience, our school governance councils, that is a leadership component for our schools. Yes, we do have PTOs, PTAs that families can still participate in, but the SGCs, that is a piece that is mandated by Connecticut state statute. And so we do encourage, and I hope that our board members will continue to stress on this with us, that we are always looking for 7 parents, 5 teachers, 2 community members, and at the high school level, 2 students to be part of our SGCs. And of course, you can always reach out directly to your family and community service support provider if you are interested. And that is an area of focus for us. Again, next year is to continue to build a strong bench of family members that participate in our SGCs. Won't ask you to go back to the slide, Christina, but what we mean by partially seated is meaning that maybe there might be a teacher that's missing, a SGC might be missing a parent. It may not have a community partner. So the 18 that are here in the yellow means that they are partially seated, that they do not have the full complement. So we can share if that is needed, like what is the breakdown across SGCs. Ms. Alvarado does have that, so you can see which of these schools fall into that 18 and which 20 are fully seated. But the win for the year is that we have no one in the red zone. But for our viewing audience and for the benefit of our board members, just wanted everyone to understand that partially seated means that all 14 members, and at the high school level, the 16 includes our students, are not present. Thank you. And we can move to faces, Ms. Alvarado.
Thank you, Chief. All right, so faces. This is a picture from yesterday. Here we have our colleagues. Here's Alejandro, Janelle, right? And these are our 3 mom leaders that were able to join our conference this year. And I apologize, a breakout session just ended. So.
And that's okay, Viviana. I'll go. You
You'll
do
take
that.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll jump in. And so, again, I do appreciate the team trying to do both while they are at the National Institute for Educational Leadership, Family Engagement and Community School Conference, of which they were able to bring leaders from FACES, parents from our district, to the conference with them. So just wanted to, again, lift up FACES and the trajectory that FACES has been on throughout this past school year. And so right now, as we look at Pilot 2, I know we've talked about the design committees before, we've talked about the community conversations that the FACES team, they were able to bring that to fruition. And we did that throughout the school year. And the suggestion box piece, the YouTube channel, those are all pieces that are in progress. We have been working closely with our communications team to determine how that will live. Really, that's the term that I'm looking to use, is how is that going to live as we do all of the great work? How do we take the information that was shared, Board Member Walker, by Ms. Nieves from the showcase, and how do we take that information and put it up on a YouTube channel so other parent leaders are able to access that information around advocacy and how they show up and present when they are in that space. So FACES will continue. That is our aim, is that FACES will be a mighty army in the school district of families, stakeholders, caregivers, doing the work of advocating for their students across the school district. I won't read this slide, but this just shows the various pieces that FACES were able to move through this school year. They kicked off with their conference back in September, the community conversations, and definitely had a great presence in the policy committee work with Dr. Bethany Silver, and hosting those meetings with other families to look at policies that were being presented. One of the major tenets of FACES is that we will have parent leaders in our district and parents who will be able to, I like to use the term, carry the water of what we are doing. And so we had an opportunity, as we talked about the innovation network, and we talked about it at the district level, we talked about it at the board, but we also talked about it with our families. And so we were able to work with our FACES team. And this is the first time that we were able to really implement that. I like to call it a turnkey approach, where they took the information from the innovation network, they went through a training, post-focus groups, absent of HPS folks. That's what we wanted them to do. We wanted them to take the information to their other stakeholders, the other families, and they were able to do that. They hosted 2 focus groups based on the training that they received. And I didn't attend the focus group, but our families were the ones facilitating with other families as they talked about potential ideas for an innovation network. That really exemplifies and shows what we are looking to do with FACES, you know, them holding us accountable and doing work with them and not to them. The other piece that we wanted to talk about, we just wrapped up the spring climate and culture survey, so more details and results to come from there. But from the fall 22 climate and culture survey, and again, I won't read the information. I do know that the board has had some time to look at these results. But as we did our work, we were looking at these pieces here and thinking about our families. And so these are some of the areas that had the highest favorability ratings, folks responding favorably. Again, I won't read them, but looking at the fall culture and climate survey, and then of course, looking at the spring findings that will come out, this is how we'll continue to frame and ground the work that we do. We use these results to continue to build on what we wanted to do, even as we moved into the spring portion of this school year that's getting ready to conclude. And so as we look to receive the ratings from the spring climate and culture survey, it will definitely ground our work for school year 23-24. We did at our very last meeting, we had some great conversation, great feedback from the board members here in regards to summer planning, but for our viewing audience, that's another big component of our work, is how we work with our summer enrichment providers. So you can move to the next slide, Christina. Or Sharice, I'm not sure. But again, this is a large piece of the work that we take on as a department thinking about summer. So we start planning and looking at summer somewhere around January. And again, wanted to share one more time that yes, summer enrichment, we are looking to provide a space and a place for our students as their early start day concludes. And yes, we'll lift up again that there will be a pre and post for our students who are participating with the CBOs. You can move ahead, Christina. And so want to pause for questions, but I wanted to include this slide for everyone, because at the end of the day, our work as an Office of Family and Community Partnerships and Outreach, this picture here is members of our team and other folks from across Connecticut, but members of our team at the national conference. And so what I wanted to just pull out of this picture is that you'll see members of the OFCP staff, you'll see folks from Blue Hill Civic, the Boys and Girls Club, the Village, Catholic Charities, because it's super important that we are getting the training and we're also doing it with parents. So I just wanted to use this as our closing slide because everything that we do it in support of building great collaboration between school, family, community, and making sure that there's that dual capacity that's taking place. So as our parents are there and our partners are there and our team is at the conference, that is our aim, is that whatever we are doing together, we do it together and bring that learning back here to Hartford so we can continue to do the great work that we've been able to accomplish during the 22-23 school year and beyond. So I'll stop there, Ms. Escribano, and wait for questions.
Thank you, Chief Blackburn and Viviana and the whole team, Ms. Fagan, for the great presentation and overview. It's always great to see. So let me stop there and let me open it up to my fellow colleagues looking at the screen. See if there are any questions or comments. Mr. Walker?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to congratulate Ms. Alvarado and Chief Blackburn as well. I think the work's been terrific. I thought the Faces Initiative was exciting. I really loved the recognition of the parents, community members who are part of that. So looking to see more exciting things next year from that group. And the partnerships, love to see that become more vital. The only thing, if I had one wish, it would be that we could get more parents engaged in more ways with what's happening in school and in the lives of their children educationally.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. I share those sentiments. I think, as we all know, any type of community work is never easy, especially a community like ours where we have amazing talent, great people, but we also have a lot of trauma and a lot of, stress, depression, a lot of difficult choices to make in our lives. And that being said, though, it's really amazing to see the work that's being done, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we continue to grow and keep pushing the envelope together as a team. And I know summer's approaching, the end of the year's coming soon, and I just want to say here to our viewing audience, I will be meeting with Chief Blackburn, Viviana, and her team to strategize the upcoming school year in terms of what we ourselves as board members, as me, right, as the chair of this committee, what we can be doing more to engage our families and our parents and our staff. But more to come on that. But again, I want to just give huge props to Chief Blackburn and her entire team for all the hard work that you guys are doing, and to our families, to our community partners, to everyone. Thank you. I know it's not easy work, so just thank you for everything and for your patience. And Mr. Walker, thank you as well for always giving your perspective and your honesty. I truly respect it, and we need that. I'm looking to see, give me 1 second. I want to see if I miss any of our colleagues. No, it's just me and you, Mr. Walker. All right, so I don't have any questions. I will, like I said, I will be following up with Chief Blackburn end of the school year soon. over the summer to just have some fun and strategize the upcoming school year. I'm really excited to see what you guys have planned upcoming soon enough. But anyway, with that being said, look I got us out at 5:02. Yay.
I love that. Miss,
Oh, one of the Viviana just said one of the parents won books from the Scholastic for their library. That's awesome. Yay. Congrats to that parent. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. And
Um,
Chair, just a point of privilege. I do want to just take a moment to say, I never want our board members to think that the conversations we have here, fall on deaf ears. We do take your feedback. And I know that we are all super passionate about this work because this work really touches our families in a different way and our students in a different way. So I know Mr. Walker, I know we've had conversations and just, I think trying to come to common understanding together is something that as we look to the 23-24 school year, I hope that we'll have some time to do that. But just wanted to share here that as a team, we've had hard conversations, and I think hard conversations are important. But when you leave the hard conversation, it's like, well, what do you do with the information? So just wanted to kind of bring that into the space and say thank you. So those watching may be like, wow, they're really having a passionate and deeply, what's the right word? Almost heated conversation, but that's needed. I think when you are forthright and share that, then, you challenge each other to really do what's best and always keeping at the forefront that is for our community and for our families. So just wanted to say thank you to you and as well as to your colleagues who aren't here for those times that we've really had to push each other to make that happen. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Blackford, for that. And I couldn't agree more. I think, we all care about our community, and we need to have those difficult conversations. As hard and stressful as it is, we do need to have those conversations, and we don't always get it right. And that's okay, but it's about accountability and owning up to it and just moving forward and figuring it out together. And thank you, Chief Blackburn, for your leadership and always not shutting down when we push back. That it's admirable, and I hope everyone feels that as well. Never feel like we're pushing you down in a negative way. It's more so we want the best things for our students and for our teachers, and I know you guys feel the same way. So it takes a village, it takes a team, and sometimes, right, we got to argue. And we got to have those difficult conversations, but we keep it pushing and we work together. And thank you, Chief Blackburn, for your leadership and for your entire team. And enough love of the Love Fest and appreciation. I said I was going to get you guys out by 5:10. It's 5:05.
And it's my fault. It's my fault. I was supposed to do one thing.
No, you're good.
Christina, if you could just share the deck one more time, that last slide. To our board members that are here and also to our viewing audience. I think often we hear, Hartford this or Hartford that. The next slide, Christina. Yes, but at this international even convening, Hartford Public Schools was tapped to lead the state coalition meeting. I was asked, but we had cabinet retreat, so I did not go to the conference. But Ms. Hooker, Janelle Hooker, who recently joined our team, I did ask her to step in for me and was able to lead that state convening. Yes, Ms. Hooker. I wanted to pause for a moment just to share that in front of our board members, and feel free if that's something you want to lift up at our board meeting coming up, because I just think people need to understand that in this space, Hartford is often called upon to offer insight, to offer thoughts and ideas on how is it that we are interfacing with our community and with our families. So just wanted to share that. She did lead this coalition meeting with I would guess like a advocacy group out of Bridgeport, Miss Donna Thompson, but just the simple fact that Hartford was asked to lead this state breakout at a national convening, I think that says a lot about the work that we are doing and how it's seen, not just here in Connecticut, but on a national level. That's all. I'm all done.
Thank you, Chief Blackburn. That's a great of ending. And just really quick, thank you, Viviana, for also saying that we were also recognized as the only district that brought parents, which is wow, that's amazing. So we're doing a lot of great work. Still a lot that needs to be done, but we are doing some great work. And thank you to everyone who's been so dedicated and committed to this work. And with that being said, please stay safe.